Now if I did that right, you should be able to see it. Okay, I hope I'm not sideways anymore. Give me a thumbs up if you can. Let me know things are working okay. Thank you. And, oh good, we got a message. I just can't read it. Okay. All right. We're going to get, yay! All right. Thank you, Christine. Appreciate all your help. Okay. We got a lot of exciting things to share with you tonight. One of them happens to do with the Mr. Rebounder app. So for those of you who know, and we're just going to kind of turn it this direction. When we go into the Mr. Rebounder app, I think you can see that. One of the routines that we've been doing, that my family and my kids and all have been doing, is the second weight loss. It's the advanced program. Is really excited, and I'm going to encourage everyone to go to that one tonight, because I'm going to be sharing some other information with you. And feel free to do that one. If you don't have the app, then we did record this. My son and I recorded this particular movement routine. So when you go into the routine now, and you hit start, down here in the oh, thanks. All right. So down there in the bottom left, we now have the ability to turn off the music, but it will still ding every time it goes to a new movement. And if you want the music back on, now you can turn the music back on again. And if you'd like, you can turn the music off and you can turn the ding off. Or you can keep the music on and just turn the ding off. Either way. So that's some of the new things that we've got going. You've asked for it. We listened. It took a little bit of time, but we were able to get it. Okay. Good. So if you can keep the questions coming, Christine will try to forward those to me on my iPad, and I've got her right there. I'd like to start off by reading some of the different incredible, wonderful, wonderful customer reviews that we've gotten. Okay. It says, this one's from Allison. I want to thank Allison for sharing it with us. This just came in July 10th. It says, back in 2003, I decided I wanted to purchase a rebounder. I was new to this piece of equipment and studied the field. Even back then, the Cellerciser stood out as a premium choice. My only hesitation at the time was the price, because so many competitors cost considerably less. But then I realized that I should put the cost consideration aside. Quality, long life, and stability were what counted. And that has been my 17-year experience with Cellercise. Even after all these many years of use, my rebounder remains in prime condition. Not a flaw on it. It looks new and in mint condition. The mat has retained its initial firmness, and because it is stable, I don't fall off. Now, some personal comments on how I use it. I prefer to bounce to fast music. When the music speeds up, I speed up. When the music comes down, I slow down my bouncing. I improvise and do a variety of moves, but always return to the basic bounce. Because I like a softer bounce, I put two pieces from a puzzle exercise mat, the kind that interlocking pieces like in a puzzle under each leg. I experimented with 3 pieces, but that made the bounce too soft. 1 was not sufficient. In my case, 2 are perfect. The sort of bounce you want is a personal preference. Now keep in mind, 17 years ago, we didn't have the tridaptable spring. We had just the tapered spring. So it does make a bit of a difference. But irrespective, you have a way, if you want, to make it a little bit softer without losing the resistance and the support on the mat. And that's a problem with bungee cord units. And if you use bungee cords and you're here, we welcome you. I love it. I'm not here to disparage the bungee cord units. I just want you to understand that they're rubber bands that will stretch out. And when they do, you want to be more careful, because without that resistance, you're losing the benefits that you would get on the Cellerciser. For example, we need the resistance to move the fluid through the lymph system and the circulatory system. We need the resistance to build up the muscles. We need the resistance to strengthen the bones. And if we don't have enough resistance, if it's too soft, then we're not going to be able to get those results. The good thing, and I think he mentioned it well, 17 years later, we have people that have been using the Cellerciser for well over 20 years. It's designed to last a lifetime. That's what we want it to do. And when you use it the way that we explain and describe it, it should do that. It should last you, a lifetime. It says, I like to wear padded sports socks when I bounce, not any sort of shoe. And we know what that means. We try to avoid wearing shoes because we want the foot to be flexible, and the muscles and ligaments will move instead of the alignment of a shoe. And so over time, it can take some time for those muscles, those bones, and ligaments to realign themselves, to become more flexible, and for the feet to become healthier. I have other exercise equipment, the total gym and a spin bike, but the rebounder stands alone. The other equipment, good as they are, cannot replicate the overall positive effects of bouncing on the body. Allison. Thank you, Allison. Appreciate that. All right. This one's from a psychologist, a doctor, who wrote me. And again, these are people, this is brand new. This just came in, June 26th. And yet he's been with us in the Cellercise family for many, many years. So I'm going to read some more of these, and then I'm going to comment a little bit on some of the things that you may be dealing with and wanting to work with as well. So this goes on. Dear David Hall, this is my Cellerciser story. I am a PhD clinical psychologist, and I have a clinic near Ann Arbor, Michigan, which specializes in chronic and health psychology, and I have been working in this field for over 25 years. I lecture around the state and country regarding chronic pain and the opiate epidemic, and I am very interested in the mind-body connection. Approximately 10 years ago, I purchased a Cellerciser. I loved it. I was using it every day. I have flat feet, so it is difficult for me to run and do aerobic exercises besides swimming. I was able to do this in the comfort of my home, and my kids also love the Cellerciser. I eventually purchased a kangaroo spring type shoe approximately 5 years ago. I'm familiar with those, and I'm familiar with the hazards that can accompany those. And I feel for what you went through, Ross. I thought it would be similar to the Cellerciser, a portable spring in my shoe. And I started running all around the area, around my house, and very shortly I severely damaged my ankle, and I thought I was unable to use the trampoline anymore. I was told by doctors that I needed to rest my ankle. I spent thousands to try to treat my ankle. I was seen by a physiatrist, acupuncturist, massage therapist, acupressure practitioner, chiropractor, kinesiologist, nutritionist. All of these treatments did provide some improvement, but I still have chronic pain, and it severely limited my ability to enjoy traveling and walking. And I've heard this many times with people as far as how the Cellerciser has taken areas of the body that might be weak and helped to strengthen them. Okay. It says, eventually 2 months ago, I was so frustrated seeing my kids jump on the trampoline, and since I was not able to jump on it, I became jealous. I decided I couldn't take it anymore. My ankle was not healing, and I was just going to jump very gently. I noticed that after I jumped, that my ankle felt more energized. As I continued to jump over several days, I noticed the pain moving from one part of the ankle to a different part of the ankle, to the knee, and eventually after 6 weeks, all of the pain in my ankle completely left me. Remember, when we're Cellercising, doctors know a little stress can help promote faster healing and strength. That's the idea behind a walking cast. Well, when we're Cellercising and we're moving up and down, we're applying that increase of weight in a balanced state through the entire body. We're not favoring or isolating one area of the body. We're working the entire body collectively. So the entire body collectively can become stronger and more balanced. Now it has been 2 months since I started jumping on the trampoline, and I have forgotten that I'd even had an ankle injury that had lasted over 5 years. In addition, I notice as I jump, my mood improves. After I jump, I feel some of the same spiritual energy I did when I meditate and when I jump. I notice that my mid-back pain has improved. I also think my vision has improved. I write with my hands constantly, and this is a good one for many of you who have written me. I write with my hands constantly. I write reports all day long, and I have for 20 years. And I've started to develop arthritis in my hands, and since I started jumping, I do not know the mechanism, but all of the arthritis symptoms in my hands are now gone. I'm going to come back to that. My hands are pain-free. I feel born again. I'm very grateful for your Cellerciser. Thank you for inventing it, and I really appreciate the personal touch and experience I get whenever I call Cellerciser. I either speak to you or to Jerry, and they always try to be as free and as possible to educate me about Cellercise. Thank you, Ross, PhD, LP. Thank you, Ross. Thank you for sharing and for caring enough to share. And I want to thank all of the rest of you. You're making a difference. This is not me, this is you. I'm simply a part, and I'm grateful to be a part of the Cellercise family just as much as many of you are. So thank you. One of the things I want to talk about, we have a customer, Brett Tuggle. Brett Tuggle was the a guitarist for a rock group called Fleetwood Mac. And I know Brett got involved with the Cellerciser because I know he wants to be able to continue to play in his later years as well. We've got Ivo Perlman, who's a professional saxophone player, and he actually called me from Europe because while he was playing, he noticed that he was able to play like he was young again, and his fingers were moving, his dexterity had improved dramatically, and that's a common byproduct that I hear all the time with regards to Cellercise. Now, as we're moving up and down, so is all the fluid in the body is moving up and down. I keep pondering, what are the implications when every single day we get on a Cellerciser, even if it's for a few minutes, and we move up and down, and we move the fluid through the lymphatic and circulatory systems, we break up blockages, we open up capillaries, we're doing this every day. Well, why is it that so many people who have been customers of ours for many, many years seem to enjoy a greater quality of life? Why is it that me, and I sit behind a desk all day long, I'm on the phone all day long, but I can enjoy myself, and you know, I'm going to be, and you know this, I'm going to be 64 in October, but I'm running around like I'm a kid, and I feel good, and I want all of you to feel that way. Cellercise can take time. It can break up the blockages, it can open up the circulation, but it can also help promote realignment, strengthen connective tissues. It is weight-bearing, and I have to say it's not just weight-bearing, but it's weight-bearing with resistance, but without a jarring effect. So that increase of weight throughout the entire body. This one's from Vivian. Vivian writes, "Good morning, I received my half-full Cellerciser today." She wrote this on July 10th, or I wrote it July, anyway, I received it July 10th. She says, "I received my half-full Cellerciser today and I love it. Years ago I had a rebounder model and this one is so much nicer. That one was, although a sturdy quality product, bulkier and very hard to open close with one person. It had a dangerous tendency to snap shut with some force. It also squeaked noisily from day one. Fast forward to today. Here I am, very out of shape, although I have been building up stamina over the last 6 weeks with daily cardio and light weight training sessions. I set it up quickly by myself the Cellerciser, and then spent 10 minutes doing baby bounce and side-to-side hip rocks while watching your DVD. It was quiet, so I had no trouble hearing the video. I was sweating profusely within 4 minutes. Wow! I normally don't sweat until 20 minutes into my cardio sessions. I'm also glad I bought the balance bar. I never used one previously, but I was glad to have it there today as my legs were a little shaky after 10 minutes. 10 minutes is a long time. If you think in terms of starting off with one part of your body and you apply 20 or 30% more weight by lifting weight away from gravity 100 times a minute for 10 solid minutes, nobody's going to argue. Great exercise for that muscle. Well, now you're doing not lifting weight away from gravity, but increasing the weight of gravity 10 minutes, 100 times a minute, with every single muscle or cell expanding and contracting 100 times a minute. That's intense, and that's why Cellercise is so effective and so efficient. All right. This gentleman, oh boy. 1 year on my Cellerciser now, and I can ride my bike like I'm 15 years old. Also, I turned 50 this year and feel really strong overall. I got a Cellerciser for my sister and mom. This product works great for anyone who wants to stay healthy and active. This is me at 34. I don't know if you can see this. Me at 34 with a semi-healthy diet, and I believe little steps lead to big wins. Here he is at 34. Look at that. Whoa. All right, Tony, you're an inspiration, buddy. Keep going. And this is another thing about Cellercise. It will improve virtually any activity. You know, I've trained fire departments, police departments, military personnel, SWAT teams, athletes, men, women, and children, of course, of all ages. Karate experts, you know, they all improve. Cellercise is simply another adjunct to help create a balance and strength within the body that they will experience very, very quickly and be able to apply to any activity they do. We're going to talk a little bit about athletes in just a few minutes. All right. A few more. These are great. I really appreciate this. This is all coming in recently. Bought my wife a Cellerciser for Mother's Day, and it arrived yesterday. We watched the DVD and she recognized you. She thinks from a health show that we attended in Chicago in 1995. And yes, I was there then. Too bad we didn't buy it then. I may look like you if I'd used it all these years. Lots of laugh out loud. The reason for this email is twofold. Your daughter Jenna, she's online. For those of you who know, she handles a lot of our website traffic and questions. She's been a real joy to work with. She answered all questions and concerns. She was really a great help. She deserves a raise. That's cute. Have you ever thought of having a 12-week transformation contest or something similar? I know that there are many companies that do such things, but thought it might be interesting to see the transformations. Just a thought. I would definitely enter it. I have done that before. Did that actually once with, I think it was Women's Health, a magazine, and I was working with John Gray, the author of Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. Flipped around. And he, a great guy, great customer of mine too, by the way. We did do a program, and we did have remarkable results from people. And yes, Christine, I give that one to you. I think we ought to look into doing something again like that for everybody who wants to participate, because that would be fun. I'm not going to go here, but my wife and I are both involved. We're both involved in separate car accidents, and we both had lingering effects from it. Last night, she tried the Cellerciser for the first time. I hadn't put the balance bar on it yet, so I had to help her up. The accident really messed up her sense of balance. She only lasted about 30 seconds before she got really dizzy and couldn't go on. Well, we then watched the DVD in its entirety. This morning she got on it and did about 2 minutes of the baby bounce. She had lasted the entire 2 minutes before starting to get dizzy. That in and of itself was a great boost to her confidence that this might work where nothing else has. So enough rambling on my part. Thanks again for a quality product. I had a 30-year-old rebounder, and the difference in the two is amazing. I might give the other one to my daughter and let her dog jump on it, as he loves to bounce. And animals do love that often. Yeah. Take care, and if you do start a contest, I'll be the first to join. Thanks, Fred. Says, you do look better now, except my wife said the mustache makes you look older. The picture I saw of you didn't show your double chin. Laugh out loud, just the belly. All right. You guys are great. I appreciate you. Okay. I bought one last year, lost 50 pounds, got my balance back after 3 brain surgeries. That convinced my senior parents to get one too. Sean. Thank you, Sean. Yeah, I don't think we're too old to begin Cellercising. Even people that don't have the balance can either sit on it and have somebody else bounce them up and down. They can stand on it, hold on to the bar. Somebody can wrap their arms around them while they're bouncing up and down. The vestibular balance or movement up and down helps to challenge our balance mechanism. And as our balance improves, then we feel better. We perform better. That's all right. This one here just came in July 13th. What is that? Just a few days ago. I'd like to do something. I just don't know if I can do it here. Tell you what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you with me outside. I have no idea what's going to happen. I'll disconnect this sound system and turn on the speaker. I want to show you something. And if it works, great. If not, well, at least we'll be going through some of the more important activities that I wanted to go over with today. So I'm going to turn this to the Cellerciser. And thank you all for your patience in working with us on this. All right, guys. I know my head's cut off. Okay, this is going to be more for athletes. And I want them to understand a couple things. I've worked with athletes, and it's been a lot of fun helping them improve their overall performance. And I really think the Cellerciser has been kind of a secret weapon for athletic performance. Let me see if I can move this back further. All right, it's a little bit better. Sorry about the head, but you don't need to see the head. I could turn it the other way, but then I'm going to be sideways again. So, athletes, when we're doing athletic performance, it's really important that we warm up the tissue. And I want you to just consider for a moment, if your athletic performance and you want it to be as good as possible, you want to have circulation. You want to have the tissue and the ligaments and the tendons warmed up and circulation working well. When we get on a Cellerciser for just a few minutes, 3 to 5 minutes, and we're moving up and down, every membrane, every cell of our body is gently expanding and contracting. We're weightless, weight, weightless, weight, weightless, weight, over 100 times a minute. As we're doing this movement up and down, we're helping to open up the circulatory system and warm up the body. But for those of you who are in the know and understand Cellercise, it's also giving us a competitive advantage because of the increase of strength and balance that we have. I don't know any other activity that's going to be able to do that for you. If you're in martial arts and you have that kind of balance, it's going to improve your overall performance in virtually any activity. Now, ligaments and tendons are very important to our overall performance and ability. If we're doing weight training and development, I see I'm tilting here. As we're doing weight training and development, often you'll see athletes build these great big muscles, but the ligaments and the tendons haven't had time to catch up to the muscles. And so then they go out and they do something strenuous, and they pull a groin, or they pull a ligament or a tendon, because one of two reasons: they're not warmed up enough, and second is that the muscles are stronger, but the ligaments and tendons haven't caught up. And we see a myriad of accidents occurring today, or injuries occurring as a result of ligaments and tendons being compromised. So for most athletic activities, the knees are very, very important. And strengthening the muscles, supporting the ligaments around the knees they can help avoid knee problems. They can help strengthen weak knees and support more fluid. But working on building up the circulation in the legs and strengthening those knees is very important. So again, athletes, starting off with the gentle movement up and down, doing the gentle twist, or rocking side to side, gentle movements. Remember, you're getting every area of the body. You can lift your shoulders up and down, doing the whole thing. But to strengthen these muscles so that you can really perform well, just this movement right here is very, very intense. Keeping your back straight and your feet flat. You can't do this on just any piece of equipment. You can't do that on the ground. The advantage of the Cellerciser is that you're not hitting a hard surface, but you're keeping your back straight, you're keeping your feet flat, you're working on the thighs and the knees, and it builds up these muscles. Now, there's very few exercises for athletes that will work on the lateral muscles. So, standing on the Cellerciser and jumping side to side, what other exercise is really going to help you build up those muscles and ligaments effectively? That's important. Core strength for athletes is also important. We're familiar with sit-ups. Sit-ups are basically you're lifting your weight away from gravity, but you're limiting the effect to a very small group of muscles in the core, in the stomach area. And although that's okay, it's limited. Why limit the stomach muscles? Why limit it to a certain small area? I know people want to get the six-pack and whatnot. Guys, you can do that on a Cellerciser. When you're sitting down and you tilt backwards a little bit, all these muscles are tight. As you start to move up and down, it's all being done with the stomach muscles. And women, same thing. If you really want to work the lower abdominals, that gentle movement up and down, as we tilt backwards a little bit, we leverage more weight here. The only reason I'm moving is because the core, that's really working. Lifting up a foot leverages the weight even more in the lower abdominal area, which women who had several children, this has been very helpful as well. Lifting up the other leg, eventually getting strong enough to lift up both legs, bouncing a little higher. This is all being done with the core. Going cheek to cheek, now you're working the obliques, but you're also working the core, moving in and out or up and down. Show me how typical sit-up is really going to be that effective. It's okay, I'm not taking away from it. I'm just saying that, I'm going to turn this up a little bit now. Thank you. All right. I'm saying that if you tilt backwards a little bit, all of the muscles are involved. All the way up and down the core. Kicking your legs out in front of you, that is much more intense than just lifting your weight away from gravity. And the advantage, again, for athletes is that we're not limiting the effect. We're exercising the whole body. It's weight bearing on everything, even though we're focusing it here. The advantages to Cellercise in athletic performance, wow, this thing just keeps dropping. Okay, The advantage of again, Cellercise for athletic performance is when you alter the angle of your body in a different position, you're going to become stronger in that position. What are the implications? When you're up against somebody else who hasn't exercised in an altered position and they find themselves in an altered position, you're going to be able to take advantage of it. When I taught the Las Vegas SWAT team in North Las Vegas, when I was done teaching them about Cellercise, every single person in attendance, and there were quite a few, every single person invested in the trifold Cellerciser to take with them because they knew how important it was to have that competitive advantage. And when you do, it does. I don't know if this is going to work or not, but okay. Now I'm not in my prime anymore. But I feel pretty darn good. But for those, and all I do is Cellercise. This is my only routine. But the stomach muscles are still there. I don't know if you can see them or not, but they're strong. So guys, when you're, and I don't work that hard at it. I do my 10-minute a day routine, but there's a way to tighten this somehow. I'll figure it out eventually. Okay, so it's my point being is you can do all the other types of exercise, and that's great. If you want to Cellercise, you'll be doing something that the average person doesn't even understand, because it's weight bearing on every muscle, bone, connective tissue, ligament, tendon, skin, collagen, and the fascia. And when people have this enormous amount of strength because of the fascia, they can do some pretty extraordinary things. I wish everybody could experience what Cellercise, the kind of energy and the kind of strength that it can give. Again, I haven't done this in months, but for me to stand here, to stick one leg out in front of me, to sit all the way down to the ground, and then stand all the way up again, it's easy. I mean, it's really easy. I tore up my meniscus laterally and horizontally in more than one place. I was told a few years ago because of it, I had to have surgery. I asked the doctor who had seen my x-rays and said he noticed lesions all over. And I said, what were they from? And he said, previous injuries. And I said, well, that doesn't surprise me. I said, well, why wouldn't this one heal? Well, no, not at your age and your condition. It can't. Well, I wrapped this knee up, and you can do that if you have weak knees, by the way. I wrapped the knee up and I started to do different movements. And with it wrapped up, I worked on it carefully. It took time, okay? It does take time. Often today we want the quick fix. Well, it can take time. But our cells, I really believe they're imbued with an intelligence. They know how to create, maintain, and heal the body better than any doctor or health practitioner out there. We need to learn how to work better with our cells so that they can do their job more effectively. 1 year later, I was on Fox News, and I did the same thing. I stuck my foot out, sat down to the ground, stood up again, and no problem. I realized my knee was healed. Someday I'll get this book done, and I'll put the x-rays in there so you can actually see it. Dr. Christopher Chapman was also involved with this. He's in Salt Lake City, Utah now. He saw my knee. Every time I would bend it, you would see it pop out of joint. I say, can you put it back in place? That's when he insisted I get an MRI, and that's when it led to all of this. So we have a remarkable capacity. I really believe that when we strengthen the supporting muscles and ligaments around the knee, we retain more fluid and better support in the joint area, the movement up and down, just like it did for that gentleman with his fingers, those arthritis. can help restore and increase circulation between the bones and joints, and we can retain them longer and retain that so that it gets better. All right. Christine had some questions for me to answer too, and I wanted to do that. So we'll take a few moments, and then I'm going to take you for a trip outside. If you're an athlete and you have something you want to accomplish, feel free to give me a call. If you're a doctor or a health practitioner or a trainer, I've worked with doctors, health practitioners, and trainers for nearly 30 years. I've been doing this over 30 years. And I'm more than happy to share the different approaches with you. Chiropractors, I love chiropractors. We all should see chiropractors from time to time because gravity alone is going to cause issues in our alignment. One of the advantages of Cellercise in a chiropractor is a chiropractor makes an adjustment. We get on the Cellerciser, we move up and down when appropriate. The doctor will let you know. The muscles will flex around the new alignment, and they become stronger and they support the alignment, and we get a lot of chiropractors that we work with now because they recognize the value of what Cellercise has done. They've seen it in their patients, and that's often how they call us. Again, for those who are not familiar with Cellercise, Cellercise is different than typical exercise. It's different than typical rebounders. We use a tridaptable spring design. It's a new technology. It doesn't matter whether you're 30 pounds or over 350 pounds. If you use it, you'll utilize that portion of the spring you need based upon how much you weigh or how high you're jumping. You don't have to get different sizes or different types of springs. You'll utilize that self-adjusting tridaptable, we call it a tridaptable spring. It's for everybody. So I've got people in my family, grandkids and grandparents and all ages they're all Cellercising. And I just, and again, if you're a senior, don't give up hope. You know, the movement up, and we start off like a baby. Babies do baby bounces in a crib. And as we get better, we become more animated. You know, and you've heard me say it many, many times, why work out when you can play in? Let's play in. Here's some questions. T-tap exercise. The longer you do it, as in how many months, the harder it becomes because you do it much better as you get stronger and able to. Is Cellercising the same? Well, yeah, because you're able to increase intensity. As you increase intensity, you're going to increase results. It's not the amount of time that matters as much as it is how we challenge ourselves within the amount of time. But keep in mind, Cellercise is more intense than typical exercise, which will have you do different movements to target different areas of the body, but the entire body is not collectively involved. Cellercise, the entire body is collectively involved through all these various different routines and movements. All right. It seems to me, after doing it for a few months, such as I can get sore, have leg muscle cramps when I never did in the beginning. Now I am doing shorter times, 5 minutes for my long workouts, plus a couple of minutes a few times a day. At first I would do 10 to 15 minutes, but now that would be too much. Am I getting so fit that my workout is harder, so I need to do less time? Thanks. That's a great question, really. Yes, as your intensity improves, you're challenging the body more because of the intensity. And when we start off, generally our ligaments and tendons and muscles and connective tissues they're not as strong. And as they get stronger, our performance goes up. And when it does, then we often notice other weak areas of the body that we didn't notice before because we reach a certain level of performance that it begins to challenge another area of the body that has not yet reached that level of performance. And little by little, we just get better and better and better and better. I'm looking to just get my lymphatic system moving and just get my insides healthy. Do I have to do different exercises that you show, or can I just do the health bounce as a workout? Health bounce is not a workout. The health bounce is literally for that. It's for health. It helps to break up stress, tension, and blockages, opens up circulation, it offers some weight-bearing activity, and there's certain movements that we can do. But if you want, as you increase the intensity and do the different movements, you're going to get more results. It says, will I get all the benefits that rebounding offers just by doing the health bounce? I like to bounce for 20 to 30 minutes. Thank you. you're going to get a lot of benefit when you're jumping for 20 to 30 minutes. I don't know how many blockages are going to be able to stay blocked in your system when you're constantly moving up and down and you're opening up the lymphatic and circulatory systems. That's great. That's a long time, but even still, 20 to 30 minutes of the health bounce is going to affect over time virtually your performance and everything else. And as it does, then you're going to feel more confident, you're going to be able to do more, and you're going to get even greater results. So again, I used to tell people, don't work hard on the Cellerciser, play on it, it works hard on you. Can Cellerciser help with acid reflux and lower esophageal sphincter muscles in the esophagus area too, but it's also in the by the stomach area. I bought a Cellerciser to try and balance my body from past car accidents. I noticed that the acid reflux started at the same time as my trigeminal nerve numbness in my face. I'm thinking that they are somehow connected. Thank you for taking the time to answer the questions. I don't have an answer for that. I do know that the Cellerciser helps to increase circulation, break up blockage, promote healing, reduce inflammation. We've seen that. The movement up and down, it's weight bearing. The sphincter muscle is a muscle. I've known several people who let me know that they noticed conditions just slowly fade away as their body got stronger and stronger and healthier. Keep in touch. Let us know and share your reviews with us. I'll look for some reviews. In fact, I've got somebody working right now for us because we've got hundreds of reviews, which are wonderful, by the way. Keep them coming because they help so many people. She's actually cataloging them, and we're going to scan them. We're going to make them available on our website. And we're going to call forth the health industry and the medical community. I don't know why Cellercise works for all these different things or seems to be working. And I'm not saying it is. I'm not making medical claims. Can't do that. I'm not allowed to. What I am saying is that there's enough empirical evidence and information to suggest looking further into the dynamics of what Cellercise can do. And again, it's not like typical rebounders. It's not a soft rebounder. It doesn't cause the feet to pronate. It has resistance. And it's a resistance that is massaging the thyroid, the adrenals, the endocrine system as everything gently expands and contracts in the body. I have to get knee replacement surgery. Can I Cellercise before and post surgery? That's a medical question. I have to say consult with your doctor on it. But I'm happy to talk to your doctor. And one of the things I would share with the doctors is some of the movements that are designed to help strengthen the supporting muscles and ligaments around the joint. There's a great many people we've worked with who started Cellercising that were looking into having to have hip replacements, back surgery, and knee surgery, and they didn't. And they're fine. They're enjoying a quality of life. Your particular situation, I can't diagnose or prescribe medicine, but I can say look into it. You're welcome to try it. See how it works for you, and then let us know. We work a lot more with doctors. I respect doctors. They've gone through a lot more schooling than I've had. I've had 30 years experience in one area, and I've worked with a myriad of doctors from many different modalities, and they have been my teachers. I've let them know what our customers have experienced, and they've often let me know why they believe the customers experienced it. And I've come to learn a great deal from them, and I'm grateful for it. I have a broken left ankle. I am 2 weeks post-break. What can I do to keep me going? I have had weak ankles all my life and been using the Cellerciser on and off for a few years now. However, the bouncing has not strengthened these ankles of mine. Would love to hear suggestions, recommendations. Okay. I broke both my ankles. I had pins in one of them. I was told I'd never be able to do the same things that I do again. It's not true. They never bother me. I'm so grateful. The muscles and ligaments and the bones and the minerals in the bones can move over time to heal, strengthen, and support your natural alignment. When I had my ankle broken, and I don't know if I've mentioned this before, I slipped on the ice, tried to catch myself, slipped again. You can't catch yourself on ice. It creates more momentum. Broke my ankle in 2 places. Went to the doctors. It seems like I just shared this with somebody recently. And they wanted to put a cast on it. And I said, well, I'm going to be in Guam next week. They said, well, you can't be 30,000 feet up in the air with a cast on. I said, what else can you do? They put a boot on it, and I had the most miserable trip of my life in that airplane with my foot up and down in the bulkhead. I would hang it over the side, and I bounced up and down just like this. I would take, if I didn't have the balance bar with me, I used my crutch, and I had enough balance that I could do that I felt comfortable, but the bar offers more stability. Doctors know bones and muscles heal faster and grow stronger when exposed to some stress. Again, that's the idea behind the walking cast. Well, the movement up and down increased circulation, and it had G-forces, which are weight. So the increase of circulation and the G-forces, and it hurt when I first began doing it, but I continued to do it. I healed so quickly at my age, the doctors became my customers. They're my customers. You can't argue results. And that was really helpful. So again, consult with your doctor, health practitioner, share with them what I shared and see what they think. A lot of doctors don't understand the dynamics of Cellercise. So if you tell them it's a mini trampoline or rebounder, they very well may say, oh no, don't do that, don't do that. Well, they don't understand how a Cellerciser is built and what it can do. And so again, I'm more than happy to talk to them. Okay, how can I check? My order is shipped. I've tried calling without success. Apologize for that. We are on the phone from the moment we are there in the morning until the moment we leave, and it's pretty intense. There's a lot going on in the world right now, and I know that we want to help as many people as we can, and I'm frustrated because I wish I could clone myself. I really need to, and we're working. I just hired a couple more part-time people, and we're going to do what we can, but there's just one of me. And Jerry's great. He's worked with me in my office for over 20 years, so he knows a lot of what I do, and he's able to help people as well. But I know you have questions, and I just keep trying, just keep getting through to us. We do the very best that we can. And okay, and as far as your order, check to see, call. Hopefully this has been rectified. Call and see when they're ordered. Current units, of course, are back ordered right now, and a lot of you are wondering what's the status of the back orders. I want to talk about that briefly. The trifold Cellercisers are done. They're on their way, but we're still looking about 3. They're supposed to arrive August 2nd, and then they've got to make their way to us. There's a lot that I put in. I have to export the mat material from the United States. It's a special material, and that was delayed. And in that delay, it caused all these other parts to be delayed. And it's coming back to our warehouse where we can start finishing them on August 2nd. And we'll be able to start shipping them out as soon as it hits our office, hopefully shortly after August 2nd. That's the trifolds. Anybody who is pre-ordering a trifold right now, you will get it at the same price. We've sold hundreds already of the next shipment here. You will be able to get it at the current price. When COVID-19 hit, I didn't raise our costs, even though our costs went up. Shipping costs went up, manufacturing costs went up, everything went up, but I didn't raise our costs. I know a lot of people, and I think we've talked about it, a lot of other people raised their costs. We didn't. It didn't cost me anymore for the units that we already had in inventory. So it didn't make sense to me to raise my costs to the customer. So we kept them at the cost that I originally paid for until they were sold out. Well, now my costs are more, and we're gonna have to raise our costs about $70 for the half folds and the trifolds. And anybody pre-ordering though, you will have your unit reserved for you at the current price on this next shipment. Once the shipment arrives, then we're going to have to start. I have no choice. I'm going to have to raise the price. I will not compromise the quality, the integrity of the product. And that's because I want you to be able to use it 17, 20, 25 years or be able to pass it down to others. So we're looking August 2nd for it to hit Oakland and then make its way to us. And then that's for the trifolds. I'll know more on the half folds next week, so I can give you an update on that too. Can the jumping cause hives? Because detoxification of the lymph system wouldn't surprise me. You know, moving up and down, it can definitely, in fact, I tell people, drink lots of water when you Cellercise. It's important to drink lots of water. If you're breaking up heavy metals, toxins, poisons, preservatives, chemicals, pesticides, herbicides, formaldehydes, drugs, all these things we've been exposed to over the years, you don't want it just coming back out in the body and going somewhere else again. You want to make it easier for the body to flush it out. When you're moving up and down, so is everything else. I like to think of the Cellerciser like a scrubber. You're moving up many times, over 100 times per minute. Units that are softer or trampolines is a lot more sluggish, and it doesn't have the same resistance, and so it's still healthful, but it's not going to be as effective. Hello Dave, I'm 62, have owned a Cellerciser for at least 10 years and used it on and off over that time. I've had a neck problem for many years, and when I Cellercised, it felt like it was throwing my neck and upper back out of whack, so I would quit doing it for months at a time. Thanks for your recent YouTube sessions. I've picked it up again, doing more gentle bounces, twists, and jamba, and I'm up to 10 minutes a day. Overall, my neck is doing better, but sometimes I still feel like those neck muscles are tight and sore. Is it right to assume that it just takes time to build up those muscles? I'm determined to continue on as I'm feeling so many benefits in other areas of my body. I'm also hoping that Cellercising will help me shed menopausal and COVID pounds. Okay. Bones and muscles can be out of alignment. And when we're moving up and down equally on both the right and left hemisphere of the body, it is common for bones and muscles to want to realign themselves. If muscles and ligaments are tighter on one side of the body, but we're moving up and down equally, they're going to want to normalize with the muscles and ligaments on the other side of the body. Working with a chiropractor can save a lot of time in helping you to reach that greater health potential. Because if you are out of alignment a little bit, and those muscles and ligaments they can be an issue. Putting you in alignment and then gently bouncing and allowing those muscles to flex around that new alignment again helps to expedite that whole healing process. So it can be really helpful. In addition to that, I've shared some neck exercises, shoulder exercises, back exercises, exercises for the scapula and shoulders as well. And they're on our YouTube, and you can take a look at some of those different movements. Last one, I understand the concept of tightening, contracting a muscle while bouncing to tone. Yep. When a body is jiggly, like mine, should we be wearing super tight clothes to reduce the amount of jiggle or wave? Or can one actually bounce their fat and jiggly skin? Oh, thank you, that was cute. Yeah, if you have jiggly skin, and you want to tighten the skin, it can be helpful having some support. The skin is held in place by collagen. Those are protein fibers as well. So as you're moving up and down, if you can help support that, it's the same principle as women, depending on how well endowed you are, wearing support around the breasts, for the same reason. It helps to strengthen those supporting ligaments and tendons and connective tissues without them causing too much movement up and down that can actually break those fibers, they're fibrous protein fibers. So it's good. It's good to, if you can, to have some of that support and allow the weight of Cellercising to firm those tissues, which it can. Okay, so now we're going to run outside. I'm going to show you something that I think will answer. Okay, give me a moment. Okay, how do I? Okay, I can't figure it out. in. Okay, how much longer are pre-orders being accepted? Thank you, Catherine. Until the next shipment arrives. So we're looking probably about 3 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks. And on the half fulls, maybe a little bit longer. Okay, welcome to my place. And I'm going to go over here to a Cellerciser. Now, we have some of the competition that has been disparaging the Cellerciser for a very long time. And I haven't done a lot to discourage it. I don't think there comes a time I have said that the Cellerciser is oh no, okay, I may lose you. I hope I don't lose you. We could lose you, but that's what I wanted to do at the very end. People that say the Cellerciser is squeaky. This Cellerciser, oh no. That's weird because this, do this part of it another time, but this is the Cellerciser. It's 15 years old. It's been out in the sun, and let's do this. I'm going to bring it over here to the connection. Is that better? Okay. All right, so this Cellerciser has been outside for in the rain, the sun, the snow for 15 years. I want you to look at it because you can see the paint is oxidized, but look at those springs. Look at that mat. We've got 7 rows of 4-ply polyester stitching around it. And this unit right here is still very quiet. And it's still fine to jump on. Okay. I don't know if this is going to work. Okay, give me a moment. I'm going to bring... Okay, see? Okay. This is a newer Cellerciser. You can see it has a cross stitching. And it's in excellent shape. This one here, that's 15 years old. Look at the rubber feet. They're in excellent condition. Can you see that? There we go. Every unit that we compared our Cellerciser to, they all decomposed. The legs decomposed. This one here is a bungee cord unit. I don't know if you can see it. There you go. I was blown away because I left it out only for a few weeks. And if you can look at the tabs, if you look at these tabs, they all broke. They broke right off. And when I went to pick it up, they just popped. You can see them. They're just, the whole thing is decayed. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not here to disparage. If you use bungee cord units, that's great. Jumping is great. We adopt you. We would love to have you as part of the... Okay, so I'm back in. Hopefully we'll have a stronger signal. Now, I don't know if you got any of that, but the... My unit is just like yours. The Cellercisers are built all the same. On our website. So you can go to our website. If you go to the care and maintenance section, and you are, she doesn't care if it makes noise. It doesn't have to though. When you first put oil on the Cellerciser, and it starts to polish the steel. So as you're moving up and down, the steel is getting polished with the oil. Whoops. And as the steel gets polished with the oil, over time it gets smoother and smoother and smoother, and it gets quieter and quieter and quieter. So I appreciate everybody's support, and if there's anything I can do to help, let me know. I'm happy to do so. Know that this Cellerciser is a quality piece of equipment. I will not produce it. If it has to cost more, I apologize, but I'm not going to compromise the integrity of the product. So, love you guys, really do. Appreciate you. You're a great support to me. You're a great support to each other, and I'm very fortunate and grateful to be part of this this whole movement. And thank you for sharing the Cellerciser to those that you love and care about as well. And I think we're on the verge of learning so much more about the benefits of keeping a lymphatic, thank you, David, of keeping the lymphatic system. Don't know why it's doing that right now, but thank you all. It'll be a couple weeks. It'll be a couple weeks before we get back together. Enjoy the summer. Be safe. Be careful. And thanks for being a part. Remember, you don't have to work out when you play in. Thanks.